Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So today we're touring the original Dollhouse dining room, but I must share with you the past of the original Dollhouse dining room. Yes, there's a dark past, and there was a fire. Many years ago, little Gretchen was playing with birthday candles in the dining room of the dollhouse, and it caught on fire. Many things were destroyed, many things were lost. The fire left little Gretchen with lots of really sad, painful memories of how she was so careless with something so precious. For many years, little Gretchen hid the charred walls with thick, chunky, crude layers of plaster and wood putty until one day she realized that she didn't have to live with it. She could start over. Daddy said, "You can fix anything." So then I had the courage to redo the floors and then was bold enough to knock the plaster off the charred walls and wallpaper it. One of my biggest fears was facing those charred walls because it was a stinging reminder of how careless I was that one day with the birthday candles. But now I realize I have the power to change things, to fix things, to make them better than they were before. And here, my dolls, is the original dollhouse dining room in all its glory, fully decorated, fully restored and renovated. And dolls, it doesn't even smell like smoke anymore. I'm so grateful that my losses weren't more than they could have been, and I'm so grateful that I was able to restore the original dollhouse back to its original glory. And I'm so grateful that you dolls are here with me on this journey to see what I've done to make it lovely again. So in these frames, I'm just giving you an overall tour of the room and the furnishing choices that I've made. That's the front door with the little wreath I made. There's stained glass in the side lights and some little picture frames made out of some broken jewelry. So this is a general overview of the original dollhouse dining room front door. I'm just giving you a glance of how the outside door looks up close before you enter the dining room. So dolls, one of the first pieces I want to show you in the original dollhouse dining room is this lovely House of Miniatures grandfather clock that Daddy made me. It's missing one of the hands or half of one of the hands. But yes, this was one of my first kits that he bought me, along with that desk in the attic. And you can see that it's the same stain that I used on that desk as well. This is a very, very special piece and very precious to me, and I'm so glad it didn't get lost in the fire. And although it shows its wear and tear, I love it, and I'll always keep it in the original dollhouse. So now, dolls, let's move on to the china cabinet. Now, this china cabinet is a very rare and unusual piece. I found it in a very unusual place as well. I found it in the gift section of a store called TJ Maxx. I thought that was a very odd place to find a miniature, but as I mentioned, dolls, you have to keep your eyes open. You never know where miniatures may be hiding. It's made of some type of metal, and it has a door with the acetate glass in it, and it has glass shelves, if you can see a little bit on the inside. I'm not sure what type of metal it's made out of, but it's pretty lightweight, and the sides of it are some type of mesh. And it's by a company called Turk Art. And yeah, it's got an interesting opening. You slide the back off in order to add the china and the items. And you see, dolls, I have quite a bit of wax on those shelves holding things together, and some of the items have fallen. But yes, this is my prized china cabinet. I've had it for a really long time. I'm so grateful it hasn't rusted or anything anymore than it has. But I think I actually paid less than $10 for this little cabinet. If I remember correctly, I paid about $6.99. But I love it, and I'm so grateful to have found something so unusual and so rare. I love the little items I have tucked away in there. Again, sometimes I forget what I have when it's put away. Those little brass wine glasses, I do believe those were from my childhood friend named Nancy. Now, dolls, if you look closely at that leg, it's a little rusty. It's got a little glue on there. But overall, it's a lovely little piece, and it has stood the test of time. So that is the original Dollhouse china cabinet. Now let me show you, dolls, this lovely little set of chairs. I thought they were absolutely beautiful when I first got them, with the lovely little carved back. I love the design at the top of the chairs. They almost look like a royal chair or a king chair. At least that's what they looked like to me when I got them. Now look at the upholstery really closely, dolls. That is not the original upholstery. When I got them, the upholstery was white, and I didn't like it. So I found some fabric that was some type of faux leather, and I tried to do like a tufted design in it, if you can see the little indentions in the backs of the seats. But yeah, dolls, I reupholstered those. So, dolls, let's check out the original dining room table and the food. This amuses me so much, dolls, and I'm so tickled to be able to show this table to you. So let's start off with this bowl of berries. Those are some Christmas berries that I swiped off of a Christmas ornament. Now, this is a little polymer clay cake that I made. It was one of my first attempts to polymer clay cake. So forgive me, dolls. I pretended the children were eating off of it, swiping the icing, because I did such a terrible job on the icing. But I kept it. And then I made another little cake with yellow filling and white icing. I did a little bit better, but there was still a problem with scale. But I'll show you in a moment, dolls. Let me show you this lovely bowl of pears, peaches, and lemons made from polymer clay and steak and shrimp stir-fry, dolls. I just think this is hilarious when I look at it. So that's pepper steak and shrimp stir-fry. And these are more berries that I swiped off of Christmas ornaments and glued them to a platter. When I see these things, it amuses me so much thinking about little Gretchen. And here is a chicken that I made. He's quite large. He looks like he's really loaded and full of hormones. But this was my rendition of a chicken in those days, dolls. Let's call it a turkey so it won't look so out of scale. So now, dolls, let's talk about the rest of that yellow cake. Yes, it's a lovely little cake, but I made it kind of large, and it actually got stuck in the glass dome of the cake plate. So I actually may need to remove that and make a smaller cake, but it just looked pretty under the lid. No one can have any, but it looks pretty on the table, so I just leave it right there. And here, dolls, is the lovely rug that sits under the dining room table. I actually don't remember where I got this from. I really love it because the beautiful design, and I love that it's very fine and very much in scale. I was always really excited to get mass-produced pieces. For many years, dolls, I didn't value my handmade pieces. But I'm really glad I kept this little doormat that I made from felt, upholstery fabric, and burlap as my fringe. Yeah, glad I kept that. So let's pull out that little blue cabinet. Now, dolls, this is actually a House of Miniatures kit piece. It's actually a dresser drawer set, but I painted it blue and decided to use it in my dining room. So it's got, oh wow, a lemon and a knife in the drawer, and the other drawers are empty. But again, this is just to show you how you can modify pieces to suit your own taste. I just painted it blue because I thought that was a really cool color to paint it. And you could see it was a natural brown color before I painted it. And these are some really cute blue and white little pots that I bought. I do believe they were from a set. And also, although you know I don't like matchy-matchy, I thought they just looked really cute together on that blue table. And the top's open. I do have wax on them to keep them in place. But I just always love them because they look so delicate and so cute. Sometimes ceramic pieces can look too big and out of scale. So let's see what we have on this lovely bureau. Now, dolls, this candelabra, I think it's like a law that every dollhouse is supposed to have this candelabra, or it's not really a dollhouse. I get tickled every time I see it because it looks like everyone has one. Now, this is a little store-bought cake. I definitely know that I modified it because I'm pretty sure it didn't come with that purple icing on it. But purple is my favorite color, dolls. So yeah, I know I added that purple icing. Now this is my version of some kind of cream cake. Yeah, dolls, I was doing some things there. That's a makeup container from a compact. And I put tissue paper in the bottom, made a cake, cut a chunk out of it. Yeah, there's the little chunk, drizzled some paint on it. You see there's no texture to the cake. But the really wild part is the top of the cake, dolls, is wood chips. Yes, I glued wood chips to the top of the cake to pretend that they were whipped cream and nuts or something. And that's a little small box I made with some random paper. And you see it's not cut really straight or really neat, but I thought it looked like a bakery box. And here is the lovely bureau. I absolutely love this piece, dolls. It looks so rich and so vintage. It actually was a piece that I purchased unfinished, and I stained it myself. But I absolutely love the way the stain took and how it made beautiful shadows that created a patina-like finish. Yeah, I love it because it looks so vintage. I also really love the low mirror that gives it that real retro feel. And yeah, dolls, there's nothing inside these cabinets, and it's plenty of room to put things. Again, I may need to do a video filling the cabinets and drawers of the original dollhouse. It almost looks like we pulled everything out of the dining room, but there are a couple things hiding in the corner. But let me show you this picture first. This is a lovely picture that I made. I actually cut it out of a magazine and framed it using miter cut molding, and then I gilded the frame with nail art foil. Now here is my lovely chandelier. Now this chandelier is just like the one that's going to be in the rooming house dining room. Now this lovely little chair was purchased for $3 on a trip with my childhood friend Nancy and her family in Shipshewana, Indiana at a great big yard sale. It was an amazing deal, and at the time I was absolutely delighted to have gotten it for that great price. But it was a totally different color. I reupholstered it in 2020 with some fabric given to me by my aunt. And I think this lovely green looks really, really pretty on it. It makes it look really rich, and I don't think I did it too bad of a job of reupholstering it. And here's some lovely flowers dolls that I probably pulled out of one of my mother's floral arrangements. And the pot is just a household cap. Now, dolls, I have to show you this little lovely Best Pack flip top table. Now, I have quite a bit of wax on the feet to keep it from falling over, but it's very delicate and made really, really nicely. And I really want you to see how beautiful the finish on it is and how well made it is. It's a lovely, lovely piece, and it actually came in a bundle of some really lovely pieces that I got later on. Now, dolls, I want to just take you into the dining room up close at the finishes. I want you to take note of the floor. That floor was made on a paper bag template with the really fine, inexpensive coffee stir sticks. And I did it more of a chevron design coming out from the center. And I actually stained the floor with instant coffee. Yes, dolls, instant coffee. Now I'm trying to pull out the staircase. I guess I've got it waxed to the wall so it won't shift, but I definitely modified it to fit the area and make it a little bit taller because the space was higher than the stairs were. So I added an additional step at the bottom and at the top and created a small landing effect at the bottom. I actually put faux stone on the front of my stairs as well, and that stringer along the wall. So I did make quite a few modifications to that staircase. And here you can definitely see the little landing part at the bottom of the steps. And looking at it a little closer, it actually appears that I added 2 steps to the bottom to reach the beginning of the original steps. Now, when I say original steps, these are not the original ones that came with the house because they were lost in the fire. But this was a staircase my dad bought me later, and I've modified it to fit to reach to the second floor. So dolls, always keep in mind there are many times you have to make modifications to the existing pieces to make things work correctly. And I'm just giving you a closer up look to the beautiful wallpaper I've chosen, and I think it complements the coffee stained floors really, really nicely. I was very proud of this floor and very pleased because this is the first floor I ever made on a template after the dollhouse fire and during the restoration process. So I'm very, very proud of this room, very, very proud of the finishes, because to me, this dining room represented a new beginning for me in my dollhouse world and in the life of this original dollhouse. I better start putting things away because the residents will be home soon. We do have one more room to tour in the original dollhouse, so I want to make sure I put things back the way I found them before the residents get back, because I don't want them to ban me from doing the last room of the original dollhouse tour. Now, if you dolls have enjoyed this video, definitely let me know in the comments. Also, like, share, and subscribe, and always look for me on Mondays and Wednesdays after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have enjoyed this original dollhouse tour so much, and I hope you're enjoying it along with me. As I mentioned, we have one more room to do, and then we're going to move on to preparing for the party. I'm so excited about the party at the end of the month, and I hope you dolls are too. And I want to say a special thank you to all my subscribers, because without you, this celebration would not be possible. But I also want to acknowledge those of you who haven't subscribed, but you're watching. I appreciate you as well. There's so many things I have in store for you dolls, and I have some special announcements and a couple surprises in addition to the party at the end of the month. So dolls, make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss the next episode of Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.